Gosh, I thought he'd never leave. Honestly, guys, Ali, what have you done? Hello and welcome on back to my channel. I'm Alice. If you're new here, we talk about books. We sometimes do some lifestyle and vlog content. There is one coming soon. So if you're looking for someone to stick on in the background while you make yourself a meal, clean your room, or do that thing you've been putting off for the longest time, then I'm your gal. So consider hitting that subscribe button. Come on in, join the family. It is free and you can unsubscribe at any time. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for your continued support. Guys, we are back with the romance reviews, which means we need two things. One, the trusty steed, and two, the book for the thumbnail. Yeah, I worked out how to get the cover up on a Kindle. Look at me. I'm finally getting technology, kids. Finally. We are talking about Not in Love today. And I've been thinking this pun over and over in my head for multiple times. I'm gonna be honest, guys. I wasn't in love with this book. So, as we all know, I have read Ali Hazelwood before, and for the most part, I do quite enjoy her books. They're not my favourite ever, but I like the fact that she talks about STEM, and sometimes it has like interesting concepts within it, like things that I feel like I've learned. So I've read The Love Hypothesis, obviously, back in the day, and also Love Theoretically as well. There might have been another one I read, but I can't remember. Or maybe I was thinking about reading it, but I didn't. So this one was on sale. You know me, I love a bargain. 99p, obviously, for the Kindle. And I thought, you know what? You know, Ali's never steered me wrong before, so fine, go for it. It was okay. It wasn't my favourite. This book just kind of, well, you'll hear more about it. Okay, let's get into the proper review. Everybody, please, may you take your seats, fasten your seatbelts, because it's gonna be a wild ride. Don't know what that was. Anyway, nonetheless, let's continue on swiftly. Are you ready for the rating, guys? I feel like you're gonna hate me for this. I gave this book a 4 out of 10. Now, the scale is very subjective, you know this, but that is one of the lowest things I've ever given a book. And in hindsight, it feels a bit harsh. I think I just felt a bit betrayed by the book at the time. So I probably would say maybe like 4.5, but that's pushing it to be nice. I just think that, honestly, it felt like one of those books that they were like, oh, we need you to get something else out whilst you're working on this, and then she just did that and she got it out, but like it doesn't feel like there's any, I know, there was something missing. Okay, and we'll get into that. That would be 1.5 stars probably. Not looking good for Miss Hazelwood this year. I hope that I read a book worse than that, so that this isn't my worst book this year, but I also hope I don't, because then that means I have to read a bad book. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm being very exaggerating here. I don't really feel like it was a bad book as such, but it just was a bit like, nah. You know, I'm trying to just be honest, say what I think. So that's what we're doing. In terms of chilies, I actually gave it a 4 chilies. It was quite spicy, you know, there was a lot of spice. And to be honest with you, I think that's part of what actually took away from the plot and maybe made me like it less. Don't get me wrong, guys, I love a bit of spice as much as the next person, all right? It's great, it adds a nice extra layer of connection between the characters, fun. But it gets to a point where, you know what I'm gonna say, it switches and it's like too much and it becomes too much like a Wattpad story. So it gets this Wattpad-esqueness about it. I love Wattpad, okay? I actually haven't read anything on Wattpad in a very long time, but love it, okay? No hate on Wattpad. But I just think that you guys know this by now, and if you're new here, you'll get to know this. I just think if you're making the next leap up, you're making a legit book. I feel like it needs to have a little something else, and I just feel like this book lacked that. For me, if that makes sense. Like, this definitely felt like a book that I would like only read on my Kindle and only just for like something easy to read. Like, I would never buy the physical copy of this book. So yeah, it was a bit spicy. If asked would I recommend this book, I said, to be honest with you, only for people that just love a little bit of spice, really, because I don't think you get much else out of it, unfortunately, which is a shame because some of the characters had like good premises around them. But yeah, I feel like I'd only say if you want an easy, quick read with a bit of romance in there and basically a shit ton of spice, then you're fine. There you go. I feel like, yeah, there just wasn't a lot of emotional attachment going on, and I just wasn't really rooting for anyone. I hate that about books, if I'm really honest. Like, I feel like if I'm not rooting for the love story by the end of the book, where did we go wrong? Do you know what I mean? What happened? That's that. Are you ready for the review? Let's get going. So I said this book was unfortunately disappointing for me, given that I really enjoy Ali Hazelwood usually, and I'm really excited to read some of her other books, and still this hasn't put me off. You know, I definitely want to try Bride. I'm a little bit nervous about that one. And there is also like a biology one I haven't read yet. I think, I can't remember the name of it, but yes, so that one, I'll also be trying that one at some point. But I just felt like I kind of read this book and was like, meh, okay, it's over now, great, you know, that's that. Also, side note, we managed to keep the aircon on today, and I don't think you can hear it, so it should be fine. Although you might hear some construction work. Oh, I can't control it, guys, alright? I can't control it. This book's spice was definitely spicy, okay? Like, there was a lot going on, and within that, it was quite spicy. You mentioned quite a few, you know, different tropes and areas and stuff. So it really did lean into that. I did sort of say, you know, I'm more of a spicy book, and that's okay. But I do think that it did take away from some of the plot sometimes. It also made it quite hard to get attached to the characters, because how are you meant to get attached to someone if they're just constantly, you know, doing bits and bobs over there? Like, I don't know you, I'm not learning about you, or maybe like I am, but very, very drips and drabs, and I'm not getting that attachment. So I kind of feel like that did make that happen. So it did make that lack in that area, which was a shame. Definitely for me, like that lack of character attachment, or that not wanting to root for the romance, etc., that like severely lowers the score on a book for me. So I do think like the actual content of the book probably is a little bit higher. It's not really worth a 4 out of 10. It's a little bit up, but I think that for me just brings it like all the way down, because it just feels pointless to me. I don't see as much of the enjoyment from reading that, and that's just like, you know, that might just be me personally. If you love that and that's the kind of style, this book would be great for you. But I just think for me, I need a little bit more, and I was just lacking that, you know? Yeah, it just got to the point where I just was like, what is the point of this book? And that sounds so harsh, like that sounds so horrible, but it genuinely, I was sat there like, why am I reading this right now? I just didn't get any fulfillment. I didn't learn any lessons, and I definitely didn't get inspired by anything in this book, which is a shame, because usually with the STEM, it kind of like, when she writes about people in STEM, it is interesting because you learn new things and you might find out like different terms and stuff, and I did find that in this one, but it just kind of felt like she wrote half of it, and then someone came in and wrote like loads of spice and then like put it, like it just didn't, the two did not feel like they combined, which was weird. It was also a shame because I guessed the whole plot twist, the whole situation super early on. I mean, she did obviously give us drips and drabs, but I feel like maybe she gave us too many. I got there straight away, so when there was all these reveals going on, I was like, okay, all right. Like there was no like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that. It lost that shock wow factor, and sometimes I feel like a big plot twist or something can bring back a book when you're not loving it, because it might be like, so this was the whole reason this was happening, right, we're with it now, or wow, that was such a twist, that was such a surprising moment. But we didn't have any of that, unfortunately. There was no unpredictability, which sometimes can be nice in a book. You know, you do like some constants, like you don't want to be like, oh my god, they might, you know, unalive my favorite character in a second. Like definitely sometimes that consistency is nice, but I think all books need to have a little bit of unpredictability, otherwise it's like he's just missing something. I don't know what it is, but it just misses something. You know, let me know if you relate to this in the comments down below. Maybe not about this book if you haven't read it, or you do like this book, but do you ever feel this about a book? Yeah, let me know. Let's talk about it. I definitely liked some of the other characters in the books. I did feel like they were quite well written, which I enjoyed. I could really see like Ali Hazelwood's like little flourishes, but I don't know, it didn't all feel like her. Some of the characters, unfortunately, here and there though, didn't quite make sense, and obviously, you know, if you want more on this book, we can go more into detail about it, but I feel like I've been waffling on for ages. But that did kind of lower the score a little bit for me as well. Like I said, there was just a lot of Wattpad-esqueness about this whole book, and I don't mind that, but it's just not my favourite. Do you know what I mean? I feel like the two main characters, Eli was just super intense from the get-go, and like I do like an intense character, but it was like too much. And then also like Rue, she just basically had all these principles and all these ways of being who she was, and then she just change them for a boy. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, it was just all a little bit, I saw what she was trying to do and I saw the vision, but I just don't know if we quite got there, if that makes sense, which is such a shame. Yeah, so that's another thing, when the main characters are a little bit annoying. It creates that detachment. I think the reason this happens is when you read, you become immersed in the world, right? It's a bit of escapism. And you can get really into it, you get into that universe. And you want to believe these people are real, right? But when they do certain things, like in these books, and that, you just lose that attachment with them, and it becomes detached from your current reality, and then you realise you're reading a book, and it kind of just takes away from the whole experience. So I feel like, and as well, it's the same, even if you're invested in a book, excuse me, even when you're invested in a book, it can still be that case of you don't like one of the main characters, so you kind of like come in and out, but other characters pull you back in. So, you know, it's in different levels for every book, but this one wasn't the highest. Let's just say that. To be honest with you, in the most blunt terms, it just felt like they were fucking around the whole time, and I just didn't find that entertaining, unfortunately. So I definitely wouldn't rush to recommend this book. I would recommend other books by Ali Hazelwood. Well, the two that I've read so far, I did enjoy those ones. And I know she's definitely done a lot better with some of her other books. But this one wasn't my favourite. To be honest with you, I didn't even know it existed. So maybe there was a reason for that. I didn't know it existed until it come up on the little Kindle sale and I thought I'd go for it. So maybe that was on me. Maybe that was my problem. Everyone knows that this book is not a book you're supposed to read anyway. So who knows? But I've done it now. I've read it. What they're going to do? What they're going to do? What's the quote that's going to come next? I'll give you 2 seconds to guess. What they're gonna do? Shoot me? They have to catch me first. I'm like a whippet. Back in the day, Louis Spencer. But all in all, I don't know. Her writing style just felt a little bit off. It wasn't my favourite. I wouldn't recommend. But if you have read it, let's talk about it. All right. Well, I think I've waffled on for long enough. So stay tuned because we will be having a lifestyle video coming soon. And also, I feel like I've absolutely been chugging out the reading at the moment. So I feel like definitely more reviews be coming soon, and maybe even a vlog if you fancy it. I do really enjoy making vlogs. We are so close to 200 subscribers, which is mad. So we need to think of something that we can do to celebrate 200. Any ideas? Let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, let's just do it. I'm feeling the motivation. I'm incentivized. I love making these videos. We're doing it. We're doing it. We're doing it. Let's end this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Have you subscribed? Thank you. Thank you very much. And as always, until the next one, I'll see you then. Bye. Oh, my hair is atrocious. So we're just gonna have to ignore that, okay? In this, oh.